Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. A couple of months ago, I posted my full EXO Zombies storyline video, and you guys really enjoyed it. Now, with Descent, there are a couple of loose ends that I feel inclined to tie up, and one of them is pretty damn big. It's what happens right at the end of the outro cutscene for the map. Let's have a look at the cutscene itself.
So this is it. End of the line. It's better this way. I am what I am. And what I need to be is deleted from this world. Say goodbye to Big Bad Oz.
Wait. I'll do it.
Besides, there's only room for one monster in this world.
Atlas will pay for what they did to you, Oz.
And it had better watch its fucking ass. Lennox got promoted to Lieutenant Colonel for eradicating the source of the Atlas infection. He remains a total dick to this day. But I have to credit Lennox for pulling some strings and getting Decker admitted into Sentinel. Decker finally got his chance to be a proper soldier. He now fights on the front line against his former employer. Tired of the grime and the guns, Khan took up the fight against Atlas the best way he knew how, by suing them. The evidence he has amassed for his case is both substantial and damning. Of course, he had a little help from a former Atlas IT employee turned hacktivist. Atlas may stack the jury in their favor, but my bet is Lilith will serve her own brand of justice when she empties all their bank accounts. Just take me out of here. I still fucking hate the Atlas Corporation.
In my opinion, this is what's gone down. Atlas have had this grand campaign. They've been producing Manticore, and the idea is that they can use it to basically tread the line between keeping people alive to make a profit or something like that, or potentially unlocking the secret of immortality itself. We have a situation where Oz works for Sentinel, right? He's a successful Sentinel soldier. He then gets absorbed into the Atlas Corporation, hates them, but still is absorbed in because of the way the DNA bomb affects him specifically, and he ends up being seemingly the source of this outbreak, right? Atlas, throughout the entire campaign, and by campaign I mean the EXO Zombies story from Outbreak to Descent, those maps all contain this interweaved narrative which basically, in summary, goes something like this. Atlas noticed that Oz is affected differently by Manticore. They try and use him as their primary source of figuring out how it all works and experimenting on him so that they can essentially say, okay, we've got the key now to how this all works and we can create it for ourselves in the lab without the use of Oz, without his DNA or without anything like that. But then, as the campaign goes on, things become more and more expensive for Atlas, things keep going less and less their way, and so they make a call at the end. They make an executive judgment call. They essentially say, okay, guys, things haven't gone very well for us over the last couple of maps. Obviously, they wouldn't be referring to maps in-game, that would be breaking the fourth wall, or rather that would be like going through the fourth wall from the other side. Yeah, let's ignore that comment. So they would be discussing basically the recent events that they had experienced, and would say something along the lines of, why bother trying to take this source of the infection out of Oz and make it for ourselves, when instead what we can do, what we have the technology to do, is clone Oz, and then if we ever want to initiate an outbreak somewhere, we just plop an Oz down there. What they started off doing right at the beginning that worked so well was they had Oz and they knew that he was infected, and they put him in a scenario, namely Khan's research facility, where they knew he would break out and cause an infection. And the reason it worked so well is because they let him have free reign. They let him completely go nuts and infect everything, and they didn't have their fingers right deep in the pies, so to speak. However, later on when they're trying to get him back, those attempts to start controlling him and bring the situation down to a much more easily contained level meant that they had to start putting all these extra resources into it, and all of the things that Oz would do to fight back against those would be heavy losses for the Atlas team. And so instead of doing that, surely it would be easier and make sense from an executive point of view to say, instead of trying to control this one tearaway mother trucker, what we're going to do is make 50 of him, and then whenever we want to cause an infection or whenever we want to do some research, we can do that. We can do both at once if we want. And that completely solves the problem of Oz numero uno, the original Oz, being this reckless tearaway that they cannot properly control. Looking back towards the very beginning of the outro cutscene,
I am what I am, and what I need to be is deleted from this world.
Oz says that he needs to be deleted from this world. He realizes internally that he is a problem, and he needs to be exterminated, basically. And the one thing that Atlas can do to prevent that from ever happening is to clone him hundreds of times, so that even if he wakes up and he goes through this entire realization process of what's going on and then decides he needs to be deleted over and over again, they'll still have more Oz clones. It basically means that instead of them having one particular figure that they can't control and who eventually is going to try and delete themselves from existence, they instead have an unlimited supply of Oz's that they can go through that same progression with of, oh, I'm a big mad monster, and oh, I'm not the source of the infection, and oh, maybe I am, I need to delete myself, over and over again at the will of the executive board of the Atlas Corporation. So hopefully that answers one of the questions that you might have had about the EXO Zombies storyline having played and finished Descent. I'm sort of shifting my focus now onto Black Ops 3 Zombies because I have a lot more experience and expertise in that particular area, but also EXO Zombies has sort of been gone now and it's Black Ops 3's time to shine. So if you do have any pressing questions you want answered, pop them in the comments and I'll try and get to them in the next couple of weeks. Other than that, I have been MrRoflWaffles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like. If you haven't, let me know why in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.